Welcome back to the Bookworm Woodmakers channel. It's now been 9 days since my surgery. I'm healing rather well. It was performed by the Pittsburgh VA Center. They did an awesome job. Well, let me back up. I'm sure every YouTuber suffers this from time to time, and that is what is called a loss of footage. Now, what basically happened was I injured myself about 3 years ago with a inguinal hernia. Now, back when I was 23 years old, I had a bilat inguinal that happened to me. Hey, stay out of there. Sorry about that, got the dog. Yeah, you want to come up here and visit, say hi to everybody? You want to say hi to everybody? Come on. Oh, such a good girl. Oh, there we go. The photo bomber. Oh, okay. All right, good girl. Good girl. Anyways, I had a loss of video footage. I'm still new to this, don't know everything. I'm not a computer wizard or any of these other programs that you see on YouTube. So I had, well, let me get back. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Back when I was 23 years old, I had gotten a bilateral inguinal hernia. And back then, they just cut you open and started poking and found out where things were and fixed it. And the recovery time of that was a very long time. Today they're doing it laparoscopically. Anyways, I received a hernia about 3 years ago. Didn't know it was a hernia. Walked around for about a year not knowing I had a hernia. And then when I finally found out that I did have this hernia, I started using hernia trusts. And they are a short-term solution to wear. They are not a long-term solution. So I finally made up my mind that I needed to get this repaired. While they were in there, they repaired an umbilical hernia that I've had for over 20 years. And because of the different doctors I talked to, some said, don't do it, it'll ruin your stomach, it'll look like heck. Other doctors are like, no, they can do it without a problem. Well, there's now a surgery called laparoscopic surgery. I had it done to my right shoulder when I tore my rotator cuff. They did it this time, and I just could not believe the difference in the healing process of it. I'm healing a lot faster, and I'm double the age of what I was when I had it done the first time. So, right around, I want to say November, December, I really started feeling the pain. This was November, December of last year, and couldn't do what I wanted to do for this channel. So I focused my energies on my primary business that I run, which is an expediter. Expediting is where I go to companies and they have a package that needs to go from their facility to another facility. I actually use 2 companies to get my business from. They'll call me up and say, hey, we've got something that's in Pittsburgh and it needs to go to Topeka, Kansas. It needs to go to Brownsville, Texas. It needs to go to Jensen Beach, Florida. And that's basically what I do as a primary source of income. I'm hoping later on that this channel will take over on that and I won't have to have such erratic sleep schedules. But I do enjoy the job. I work by myself, and I just see a lot of this beautiful country. And my goodness, we in the United States are so blessed to have such beautiful country. So, that being said, I put a call into the surgeon and got a hold of the physician's assistant, and she pretty much told me if I really want to heal myself and heal myself properly, that I'm going to have to follow a no more than 10-pound lifting capacity for me to heal. And I said, well, how long is that going to be? And she says about 4 months. So that's going to put us in November of this year before I can actually start getting in and really creating things. Hopefully between now and then, I will find the solution to getting the information I need off of a laptop in order to be able to put out some of the bits and pieces of videos that I have been doing. Today is not a build day. This is not a build video, but I do kind of want to walk you through and show you some of the projects that are actually in the making. A couple of years back, when I had a different lifestyle, I was at a customer's house and I was doing plumbing work. I did plumbing work for approximately, I want to say, about 8 years of my life. Enjoyed it. But this was a bench that I came across. It has all the pieces to it. And what I want to do is tear this thing apart and refinish the ironwork, maybe put a different color on it, and of course put new wood on it and shore it up. It actually was sitting in my yard until this Beastmaster decided to take her lead and wrap it around this thing and pull it apart. That's what happens. We don't have a fence for her. That is going to be in a future video, and of course budgetary restraints are preventing me from moving forward on that, as well as this for right now. The cost of wood is just astronomical. I just received, thank goodness, what they told me was 1.5 gallons of liquid diamonds, which I'm really, really excited about. Now, if you do the math, lifting this thing is going to be more than 10 pounds. So if I can tilt it and pour it, I might be able to get away with it. Two things have happened in my cleanup. This is a knife that Amy's father used to have, and he passed in 1999, and he had his own electrical company, did a lot of electrical rewiring of and wiring of existing buildings here in the Pittsburgh area. And it is a good quality knife. I mean, I'm not a person to carry specifically a knife on me. I do have one for my business to cut rope and straps and things like that that need to be cut. And I'll show you that knife in a couple minutes. But I do have a mold to remake the knife handle, or I could just simply take this piece off here and not necessarily replicate the handle, but at least make it whole again. There are no pins in this, okay, so that's kind of weird. I also picked up a knife kit from Woodcraft Supply because the knife I currently have was broken. Now this is the knife I carry on my truck, and as you can see here, the handle was damaged cutting something out. I purchased this knife at a truck stop because, you know, I love the color blue, and it looked like it was a pretty cool knife. But I'm going to try and take these handles off and create my own handle for that. Just in case if that doesn't work, this is the knife kit I got from Woodcraft Supply. Even comes with the pins and the screws and everything that you need, even the clip, to be able to use. And it's a nice size, beefier knife. Very similar to the one from Amy's dad. And might be something that even if this works, I might just go ahead and do this one as well. One thing that I've lost was a lot of footage of me trying to do a French cleat system in this shed of mine. That final assembly of the walls and everything that needs to be done, sadly, is going to be a next season thing that I'm going to have to do, because by the time I recover enough to be able to move all this stuff I've got off these walls and everything, it's going to be too cold for me to put any caulk down to be able to cure and keep the insects out. However, in this corner behind me, I had an extreme giggle fest one day, because I did come through and caulked it. Even had to use some spray foam in the corner there because I couldn't get my caulk gun in there. And they wanted a ridiculous price for a angle nozzle to be able to get into where I had to go in. And I just decided to go down and purchase a $5 can of super foam, or whatever the heck it's called, and spray it in there. And then of course I use acetone to clear out the straw on the tip of the can, so that way there I can use it in the other three corners when it's time for me to do this. Another thing that I was really struggling with was the French cleat system. How do I do it? You know, I've watched every single French cleat system YouTube channel out there, and I wound up being more frustrated as I was watching it, due to the factor that they were making these beautiful elaborate things and I just wasn't getting it. I couldn't wrap my brain around it until the right teacher appeared. And that right teacher is actually over in England. I believe his name is Matt. And he has a YouTube channel called Start Making. It's a relatively new YouTube channel, and this guy is in a tinier workshop than I have. He has no electricity in this thing, and he does do work outside like I did or do. And he was able to actually show me in this tiny little shed on his YouTube channel how to do the rest and the things to build, so that way there you can get the tools up off the floor, off the countertops, and onto the wall, and off the shelves and onto the wall. So I'm really excited about that. One of the things that I ran across was when I was taking my shelves off, everything on those shelves wound up here. And now I have a mess on my hands. Where do I put this stuff? How can I handle this stuff? Well, I went to Harbor Freight and I got these 20 bin rail mounted stackable parts storage, which I'm really excited for, because as I was taking this stuff off, it's just a jumble of screws and bolts and nuts and washers, and they're kind of like my junk stuff when I need something. But in an effort to streamline my efficiency in working, I want to be able to go, gosh, I need a 3/8 inch washer, and go right to one of these little bins and take one out. I do have a marking gauge for the screws and the bolts and all that, so that way there I can take one and say, oh, what is this, and put it into the gauge, and it'll tell me that it's a number 8 head. It's 3.5 inches long. It's fine thread, and it is only a 1/4 inch thick, or along those lines. And then that way there, I can actually put that into one of these shelves. Now, obviously, I'm going to need more than just 20 of these, because we're talking about screws, bolts, nuts, nails that have been collected from me for over 20 plus years of woodworking. So I'm really excited to get that going. I just have to be able to come out here and be able to do the work without harming myself and having to go through this surgery all over again. So I will be doing this off camera. This is kind of letting you know I'm not going to be making very many YouTube videos this year. I need time to heal, and we're going to start off 2023 with a lot of projects and get back to learning how to make things out of books. So until then, this is Jeff with the Bookworm Woodmaking channel. Stay safe and stay blessed.